mistake twice. Don't become my enemy, Crosshair. We never were.
Bad Batch Season 1 left the fans with a lot of mixed feelings. Personally, I felt like the season delivered a few very entertaining episodes, but a hefty part of it fell short for me. The standout character that kept me engaged throughout every episode he appeared in was absolutely the stubborn and evil villain Crosshair. His choices was at times extremely unpredictable, and the more the series delved into his thoughts, the more interesting he became. In the end, Crosshair had transformed himself into a pretty complex character, something we rarely see in Star Wars. The fans was confused by his actions, and it was hard to tell if you should have felt sympathy towards him or just assume Crosshair for being stupid when making the decision to not reunite with his old squad. In this video, I will try to unravel the mystery of Crosshair's odd choices and express why he's such an interesting antagonist. Let's get into it.
Good soldiers follow orders.
Crosshair has always had a pretty brutal and cold mentality. It seemed like he never actually felt attached to the Bad Batch like the rest of the squad. So when his inhibitorship started working, I accepted the fact that Crosshair would fall out with his team almost instantly, because he didn't have a choice in the matter, and his personality fit the villain criteria quite perfect. It felt altogether a little bit cheap and too obvious that it was Crosshair who turned and not anyone else in the Bad Batch. The other members had far nicer personalities, and to be fair, it felt like a lazy writing decision. It did surprise me how evil and raw he became. Crosshair got turned into a brainwashed killing machine that would do anything to complete the mission and follow orders. The problem with these types of villains is that it quickly gets stale, because it's impossible for the antagonist to evolve. He's brainwashed, therefore it isn't really the character who's making the decisions. He's just the Empire's pawn at this point, and those we have seen plenty of. I thought Crosshair's Season 1 arc was going to end very one-dimensional, until the second to last episode premiered and everything changed.
Crosshair, forget the Empire. This isn't you. It's your inhibitor chip. Wrong. I had my chip removed a long time ago.
Crosshair removing his ship or getting it destroyed was a curveball I weren't expecting, especially since he didn't really change his opinion throughout the season. But why did he do this? Why did he stay loyal towards the Empire and not leave? The answer is complicated, and I don't even think Crosshair himself is certain of his actions after witnessing the finale. He of course felt betrayed by his former brothers. Like he mentions, Order 66 makes you have little to no control over your decisions, and therefore Crosshair feels like it couldn't possibly be his fault. He felt like they didn't even try to save him. Sure, Hunter made a valiant effort to discuss Crosshair's behavior, but then they just left him. It's clear that this decision by the remaining part of the Bad Batch cut a pretty deep scar in his chest. A scar that when Crosshair became aware of his situation couldn't just be ignored. From his perspective, he did try to kill his brothers, but he was being controlled. But Hunter and the others tried to kill him, even when they knew what they were doing. Crosshair's loyalty to his squad and the Empire were in direct conflict, and that led to an interesting dilemma that got explored between the two parties: the matter of choice.
You tried to kill us. We didn't have a choice. And I did.
In the last episode, the goodness in Omega shines through his stubbornness and displays that even Crosshair can sometimes see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like most villains, fear and anger are what drives him, and it's obvious that it's holding him back. That if he would just have the courage to let go of his past, he could become whole again. Sadly, he wasn't ready. Crosshair felt trapped by the one life he has always known, following orders. So much that even after witnessing his home burning to the ground by the Empire and showing redemption qualities in front of his old squad by saving Omega and AZ, he couldn't change his opinion and shows his ideology ahead of his true family. I think that this decision is a mix between not feeling worthy of reuniting with the squad because of the terrible things he has done, and at the same time fearing the unknown with leaving the life as a soldier behind him. It's the only purpose Crosshair has ever known, and starting over isn't always easy, especially if you have unpleasant history with the people you're going to spend time time with. You can witness the doubt in his face when the Marauder takes off behind him, and Crosshair very much knows the consequences of this decision. I love that his character journey is realistic and above all actually human. It takes time to change opinions and heal wounded scars, but it isn't impossible, and I think Crosshair is on the way towards a redemption arc that hopefully doesn't end with a sacrifice. Like a Jedi would say, in order to find balance, you have to come to terms with your past. Crosshair wasn't ready to do that, but hopefully he will be someday. At least the wheels are in motion. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.
You're still their brother, Crosshair. You're my brother too.